Here's the crazy part. So I go to Chris the Shark's event, plugged in, and he keeps talking about this event. Hey, you got to go virtual. You get into my market, I'll be a buyer. So I get into California virtually on my second deal.
After his event in February 2020, you went straight into
Straight into California.
PPC?
Started doing PPC.
You know what, dude? I think you did very well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were not doing PPC yet at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not messing with PPC. They were too scared to spend those marketing dollars. I think that's where you were kind of a pioneer when it came to the small time wholesalers. Yeah. The big boys were already doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But the entry level wholesalers,
right?
No one was ballsy enough to go straight into PPC. You were,
and
so that's gangster, dude.
It was expensive. I think my first month in California, I spent like probably 10 or 15 grand. I think around 10 grand.
That's ballsy, bro.
And I was like, it's either gonna work or it's not. And I was all in. And I was all in because there was no other way, you know. And this whole process was so hard before I got my first deal, because I had ran through all my savings, maxed out all my credit cards, because I'm used to living big. I used to make $500,000 a year. Yeah. And I ran through like 6 figures in savings like that, you know, quick. And
we all go through it.
Yeah, and so that deal was like, okay, this is it. This is my time to go. So my second deal was in California and in Fontana. I still remember the property address, 14764 Iris Drive. And this deal was probably the worst deal I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's your first PPC deal, though?
My first PPC deal. And I seen this deal. I looked at the property pictures. The guy that walked it for me called me and said, listen, I've been in real estate for 10 or 15 years. You're gonna owe me hazard pay. This is the top 3 worst houses I've seen in my life. No running water, no electricity, roof falling in, mold everywhere. I'll show you some pictures after. The worst property ever. And that's around the same time that COVID is hitting. So COVID is hitting, and I'm like, man, I need the money. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this deal, but you know what? Because the price point was good, and because God was on my side and he was looking out for me, it just so happened that my original buyer pulled out on it. Chris's guy pulled out on it, but
they pulled out on my first deal too. Yeah, that was my buyer.
Yeah,
Chris was my first buyer. Since he was my mentor, I sold it to him, and I knew I could have got 20. I said, I'll take 10, bro. Yeah, because you're my mentor, and I want to start a good relationship with you. I'll take 10.
Yeah,
and I ended up losing that in my first deal. So you got another. This was your second buyer that walked that property that wanted hazard pay.
Yep. So you walked it, and he goes, all right, let's do it. And this buyer's probably one of the most flakiest, hard to communicate buyers right now. I don't even talk to him because he'll not respond. He's just too difficult to deal with. This guy goes, what are you looking for? I'm like, 245. He goes, okay, done.
Just like that.
I had it at,
what was your assignment?
175, 70 grand. Shit. So then at this point, it's
bro,
like,
that's why at the beginning,
yeah,
you were like a firm believer in this business, because your first 2 deals, 54K and 70K.
Yeah.
Bro, you hit home runs like your first 2 deals.
Well, now looking back, I just realized that there weren't home runs. That's just been my average. My average assignment fee is 70 grand right now.
That's nuts, bro. You just need 1 or 2 a month and you're straight.
Exactly. So that's what I do now. So we'll get to that too, because a lot of guys run, big operations, office, overhead, employees. I run lean and mean.
It's a different model.
I run lean and mean, and Southern California is a low volume market, but big spreads, and I maximize the heck out of those spreads. So for me, it works. So so got that nailed down, but I was still doing Charlotte cold calling at that time, developing some of the leads because California was just really hard.